All right, welcome back. We will have Michelle Kaufman join us here in hour number 4 in about 15 minutes. Before we get to Michelle Kaufman, let's talk a little basketball. We love talking some basketball, right? Are we going to talk any? What's the name of that star for the Bucks? What's his name?
Oh, Giannonis.
You're just as bad.
When you think about Giannis Antetokounmpo,
what?
When you think about Giannis Antetokounmpo,
what was that, Seth Greenberg?
When you think about Giannis Antetokounmpo,
what's he trying to say?
Antetokounmpo.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Giannis.
No. It's a Y. Giannis.
Oh, it sounds like a Y.
Yes. Say Giannis.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
No. Antete. Kumpo. Antetokounmpo. There you go. And Spoelstra?
Dude, I got to say.
And Spoelstra?
Oh, Coach Spoelstra.
You got that one right. Okay.
Look, you did really good with steering wheel covers there, buddy.
when you think about Giannis Antetokounmpo,
what?
When you think about Giannis Antetokounmpo,
what?
When you think about Giannis Antetokounmpo,
what?
When you think about Giannis Antetokounmpo,
what the hell is Seth Greenberg? Is he drunk or something? Giannis Antetokounmpo.
When you think about Giannis Antetokounmpo,
that was kind of funny this morning watching Jay Will and him, college guys, talking pro.
Yeah.
And they had Scheffler.
Scheffler?
Oh, no. What's his name?
Or Schefter.
The football guru sitting there talking about NBA.
And Jason Williams looks completely like a fish out of water driving the show. It's awesome. And, of course, Seth Greenberg talking about Giannis.
When you think about Giannis Antetokounmpo,
Polo.
When you think about Giannis Antetokounmpo,
Giannis Akabobobo. I don't know what the hell he's saying. All right, so yesterday we went 2-2 in the spread in basketball. So we are 17-7. Still doing well. We're still doing good overall. We got a couple games today. The Knicks have a couple of injuries, including Dennis Smith Jr. Wayne Ellington also has been ruled as doubtful. The Nets are favored by 7 against the Knicks. The Nets are a much better team. They're home. It'll be in Brooklyn. I am going to go with Nets -7 in this game. Mavs are favored by 7 today. The over and under is 226.5. They are hosting the Spurs. It's a battle of Texas. And I am going to go Mavs. Luka Doncic is back. Mavs are playing really well. They were playing well even without Luka. They actually had some really good wins. They get the best player back. -7. Spurs cannot defend. They're not good on the road. I am laying the 7 points. Go Mavs. Kings are favored by 4.5 over the Wolves. Remember, Karl Anthony Towns is out. He's been out with that knee injury for several games. I think he's out again tonight. Kings are favored by 4.5. They're just playing better than the Wolves right now. Wolves, again, are not a good team on the road as it is. I'm going Kings, laying the 4.5, so 3 favorites so far. Jazz taking on the Blazers. The Blazers have been an outright disappointment, but then again, when you trade for Whiteside and sign Melo, you get what you deserve. The over and under is 219.5. I am going with the Jazz. I am playing a little music. Going with Utah -5.5. Go Utah. So those are my 4 picks today. All favorites. Nets -7 against the sorry-ass Knicks. Mavs -7 against the Spurs. Kings -4.5 against the Wolves. And I'll take the Jazz -5.5 against the Blazers. And not that it goes with my totals here in my NBA picks, but take La Tech plus 6.5 or 7. Whatever the line is that you get, take it. Run with it. In fact, bet La Tech the money line. La Tech is going to win the game against University of Miami. Okay?
To bet 100, win 205.
Yes.
That's nice.
That's very nice. Speaking of basketball, how about the report of Zion Williamson? Pelicans teaching him how to walk and run. This is why the number 1 overall pick is never a sure thing. Hey, Nico. Hey, listen. I'm on record, bro. I said Ja Morant would be the better player out of the two. I would take Ja Morant 1. So that's just me. I'm one of them that probably people were thinking you're a nutbag. But I was a bigger Ja Morant guy than Zion. I don't trust Zion. I know he's got crazy ability, but I don't trust that body to stay healthy. No way. No way. Mm-mm. And all this stuff, whether you want to straighten out his walk and maybe that will avoid injuries or anything like that, we'll see. We'll see. But he's already lost Rookie of the Year. You know that? That's the interesting part right now with Zion Williamson already. He came in as the favorite for the Rookie of the Year, the obvious pick. Hell, in my fantasy league, he was chosen number 1 overall. Number 1. The guy that took him, I don't know the guy. But the second he took him, I said, thank you for the donation to our league. Because I knew that guy wasn't going to beat me. Guaranteed. I knew that guy wasn't a good fantasy player. You take Zion Williamson, number 1 overall, over established players. I don't care that you get to keep him for 3 years, dude. I get you don't pick again till 24 and he won't be around, but you don't ruin your whole season for that. Because now he doesn't help you this year and you only have him for 2 more years and you're not even sure about it. Meanwhile, I took the Rookie of the Year at number 12 overall on Ja Morant. So it's all right. No problem. We will do things the right way, and you can do things the wrong way. But Zion's already lost the Rookie of the Year. That's it. I don't think he can make it anymore. I don't think he's going to come back and take the league by storm or anything like that. Ja Morant's already doing that. So no chance that kid's going to. Hell, Kendrick Nunn is light years ahead of Zion now for the Rookie of the Year. So there you go. So Luka Doncic is back. I'm seeing P.J. Washington, the young rookie for Charlotte, with the pinky injury, could return on Friday against the Thunder, are some reports out there. Heat-wise, Justice Winslow was a limited participant in Thursday's practice. So it looks to me like he will not be taking the court against the Pacers on Friday. Interesting with Winslow. Dion Waiters did get a workout in earlier in the week. I don't know what the hell they're doing with Dion. But unfortunately, they got to deal with him and just hang in there on that one. Right, Seth? Oh, wait a minute. Go ahead. We got to put it back up for Seth.
Giannis had a Kabogo.
What?
Giannis had a Kabogo.
What was that? Giannis, what? What are you saying?
Giannis had a Kabogo. Giannis had a Kabogo. Giannis had a Kabogo.
That is this will be here forever with me.
He's not even trying, you know.
No, he just doesn't know it. He just can't pronounce Antetokounmpo.
But he's not even really trying.
But I mean, did you bother like asking a producer, like, can you phonetically break it down for me? Can you do something to help me out? If you're not, you can't.
Giannis had a Kabogo.
If you can't say, Antetokounmpo, then.
Giannis had a Kabogo.
And I get it. Most people can't. I couldn't say it either until you actually taught me how to pronounce it. And then I learned how to pronounce it, and then I'm fine. I'm off and running. It's not like I'm some diction major or anything like that.
Just say Greek freak.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Greek freak. Or Giannis. Just say Giannis. Everybody knows when you say Giannis or when you say freak or Greek.
Just remember that because of the holidays, you do have a skeletal crew. So maybe there weren't any producers other than one or two guys, and they didn't know, and you just get on, go, let's fly.
On ESPN, I don't think that exists. They got so much money in that place. They got the best of the best. Their producers are the best. Like they're the ones that really do all the work behind the scenes for all these people.
Giannis had a Kabogo.
And they get the stats for you and all that, and they can help you pronounce too if you just ask them. The producers over there at ESPN will help you out, man. They're really, really good. You know, and kind of the people that set up that whole damn place up. Anyway, so you got my picks there. Once again, Nets -7, Mavs -7, Kings -4.5, and Jazz -5.5. Good luck to all of you. Again, do not blame me if you end up losing everything and your house, your family, everything going on. Okay, so
I noticed no
blame me.
over-unders there.
Nope, I did not like. Okay, I'll admit it was one. The Knicks Nets 224 over had me a little intrigued to go with the over, but once Dennis Smith was out, I kind of backed off a little bit because I know the Nets will do their part. I'm not sure if the Knicks will do their part in scoring, but that's the one that I was thinking of maybe going with that total and go with that over, but I just kind of stayed away from it. But yeah, you know me well now that there are some of the overs and unders that I really like, mostly overs. Usually, it's basketball, bro. They shoot a lot in basketball. They like to score a lot in basketball. It's really hard for me to go with an under in basketball. I almost stay away from the unders. Usually when I go with the totals in basketball, I'm going with an over. Last night I had an over. Last night I had the over in the Celtics Raptors game. It was 213, and they went to 220. So yeah, I saw that and I said, yeah, I like the over in that one, and that one got over to 220. So I was very fortunate to hit on that one. About that? All right, 786-322-1105. That's the accidentlawfirm.com text line, 786-322-1105. And next Thursday, we're going to be at Toyota of Hollywood. Looking forward to it. They've got the model year changeover event going on right now. Over 1,500 Toyotas in stock. They are the official #1 volume Toyota dealer. And listen, I always tell you guys that I would never tell you to go buy or lease a vehicle where I wouldn't do it myself, right? And whether it's been Acuras or Toyotas in the Zinn family, I own a Toyota Camry now, an XSE, beautiful car. I love it, man. I am so happy with my Toyota Camry XSE. It is a beautiful vehicle, and they're the #1 volume Toyota dealership. And what you love is, this is one of the things I loved when I went to buy my car. Don't you want a selection? You go to these dealerships, well, you got these 6 to pick from. 6? Are you kidding me? No, dude, we want hundreds. How about 1,500? And that's why if you're going to go get a Corolla, you're going to pick from a ton of Corollas. And you're going to get them in all kinds of colors. The color I was going to get a red Camry. Okay, I love red. Red is one of my favorite colors. And I've had red cars in the past, and actually my TSX before I totaled it was a red type color. It was a burgundy. And I really loved the red Camry. But I saw this aquatic black that was just awesome. Okay? And that's when I told my guy, I said, hey, Herbie, please show me all the colors. I know I love the red, and the gray one he showed me was awesome. But he showed me all, and I saw that one. I said, yo, what color is that? And right away I fell in love with the car, and I'm telling you, that's why you're going to love going to Toyota of Hollywood, because you're going to want to pick the car you want, the color you want, the model you want, the style you want, but more importantly, the price you want. That's why they outsell everybody. That's why they're the #1 volume Toyota dealership in the country. Get on down to 1841 North State Road 7. Tell them that Big O sent you, and that sales staff will take care of you. Herbie Lopez, Steve Ostrov, all the great people out there at Toyota of Hollywood. When we come back, we're going to talk a little Inter Miami with Michelle Kaufman. That's next.
Thinking about buying or refinancing a home? Act now. Home values are ticking up. Don't put off making a move any longer. Call Michael Kodsey now at Choice Mortgage Bank, 561-441-2730, while mortgage interest rates are still at historical lows. Call now to get pre-approved and buy your dream home. If you're currently paying over $800 a month for rent, call 561-441-2730 now before interest rates go up. Down payments as low as 3.5%. Veterans may qualify for no money down. If you own a home, but you're upside down, Michael Kodsey can help. If you're being denied by your bank or your loan process is taking too long, call 561-441-2730. Act now while fixed rates are still under 3.5%. Offices in Boca and Boynton Beach. Rates and terms subject to change daily without notice. Equal housing lender. NMLS 122081.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
It is time now. We turn the page. We're going to talk a little football. We do it every week here with Michelle Kaufman from the Miami Herald. We love talking Inter-Miami soccer. Yes, we are getting you ready for the season like nobody else. Keep you informed on all of the moves. And, of course, nobody better than Michelle Kaufman. Follow her on Twitter at Kauf Sports. More importantly, do what I did. I just paid for my entire year subscription for the Miami Herald ahead of time, supporting, of course, Michelle and all the great people that write there. So do it online. Get it at your doorstep at herald.com. Michelle, good afternoon. How are you doing?
Hey, good. Merry Christmas. Happy everything. Hope you're having a good break, and we'll all be watching. I'm sure at 4 o'clock we'll be watching the Independence Bowl.
Oh yes, glued to the tube to watch the Independence Bowl. That's going to be extremely exciting. I can't wait for that. Oh God! So how was the food over the last couple of days here in the holiday season? Did we lose her? Michelle? Wait a minute. Hello? Did we lose her? You don't hear her, right? I'm not hearing her. Hello?
I don't hear her, but she's still on the line.
Okay. So,
should we try this again?
Yeah, see what's going on
If
there.
at first you don't succeed, try again.
Yeah, see what's going on with the Bluetooth, because I don't we got to wait a minute. I thought I heard something. All right, let's see if we get her now.
Yeah, that was me hanging up on her.
Oh,
We're going to try, like I said, if first you
Okay.
don't succeed, try.
Okay,
We're going
all
to try again.
All right, let's get Michelle on one more time. Give us a second here.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
All righty, we are back. I think we got Michelle now.
This is the Big O Show.
Do we have her? Let's see. No, not yet. What's going on? What are we doing? What are we doing? We trying to get this whole snafu fixed here for you. And by the way, David Dwork will join us after Michelle to talk a little Panthers hockey. Talk a little Panthers after getting routed by Tampa. So we'll get to that, and we'll have a little fun with Mr. Dwork, who, by the way, put a picture of a roast yesterday that was just crazy, and I hope he saved me a nice chunk. All right, we got Michelle now.
Michelle was saying three's a charm. Let's do it.
All right, let's go, Michelle. Are you there?
I'm here. Sorry
There we
about
go.
that.
All good. All good. So how was the food?
Yeah, you were asking about food.
Yes.
Food, and, like our holiday food.
Yes, of course.
Okay, holiday food was good on Christmas Eve. We did well. The first night we got back we went on a little cruise to the Bahamas. We got back on Monday. So Monday night I did a Hanukkah dinner, and so we had potato latkes and stuff, which was nice. And then for Christmas Eve, we did a meatball bake, like an Italian dinner, which was yummy. Then for Christmas morning, Dave's tradition is that he makes pancakes, plain and blueberry pancakes and bacon. Excellent. And yeah, that was our food. So the good news is we got a Peloton as our gift to each other. We invested in a Peloton. So all of this food that we've been eating, we plan to burn off on the Peloton.
Oh, so it's not an insult in your family? Like some people were insulted by the guy that bought a Peloton for his wife? And it's like, give me a break. People got all bent out of shit. Did you see that whole thing?
People, I know. Someone I wrote something on my Facebook that we got a Peloton, and someone wrote, oh, I'm surprised you got weren't you offended by the ad? I'm so tired of everyone being offended by everything. I'm sorry, but this generation, I don't know what the hell, but everyone is offended by everything, and everyone just wants to live their days and nights angry. Right. Everyone has to be angry and offended at somebody and upset about something, and I'm sorry. Life is too short, you know.
No,
I'm offended if there's something that's truly offensive. If someone says something against Jewish people or against Hispanic people or anything black, I can be offended, but I'm not offended by every little thing. That's just
stupid.
Absurd. You can't live that way. I cannot live that way.
No. I'm with you. My wife and I were talking about this, like we grew up with like our parents and grandparents would like say things to you to shut you up or get the hell out of here or whatever, and it was just something in a moment of they were pissed or whatever, and they'll tell you something in Spanish or English, and you as a kid would just, you'd like, okay, whatever, you'd walk away, and then, everything's back to normal. These Generation Z and what's it called, these millennials, they could never handle our grandparents or parents who were just like, Archie Bunker-like in a way. They had the little George Jefferson in them. But you knew that whatever they were insulting you at the moment or telling you to shut the hell up, it meant nothing 5 minutes later. I mean, and you kind of knew it. But these kids, it sticks to them like luggage. Like they don't forget about it. Like they think it's something personal. They take everything literal.
Everyone, I just think that they want to have a cause, everybody. I thought to me it all really stems from social media. It's a whole other conversation, but I really think that social media and the internet, there's a lot of good things about the internet. We have a lot of information available to us that we didn't have before, and we can connect with people in other parts of the world, and there's a lot of wonderful things about it, but also it creates a situation where everyone has a platform. Everybody has their own private TV show and their own private radio show, their own private newspaper, that they can sit there and spew whatever they want to spew, and they find other people that are just like them, and then everyone wants a cause. They have to be offended by this, that, or the other, and then they, call out everybody who doesn't agree with them, and then the other people who are on their team are like, yeah, and it creates so much division. I mean, I really feel like what's happening politically in our country, just everything, there's just so much divisiveness and so much hatred, and nobody talks to anybody who's not like them. you know, our friends who are lefty Democrats don't talk to our friends who are Republicans. And I mean, it's crazy. It's just, I can't. I'm a happy person. I'm an optimistic person, and I'm going to choose my battles about what to be offended about. And I'm definitely not offended by a Peloton ad. I went out and bought a freaking Peloton, and I love it. It's fun. I did the 30-minute disco ride yesterday with Cody, playing It's Raining Men, Hallelujah, and Casey and the Sunshine Band, and everyone can just kiss my Jubin butt.
I love it. I love it. Michelle Kaufman, follow her on Twitter at Kauf Sports. All right, Michelle, so we're getting closer and closer to the end of the year. Are we closer and closer to getting our damn coach?
Right. Well, I do speak because I knew this question was going to come up since it's been coming up for about 4 months now, every Wednesday. I actually reached out to Jorge Mas just a few minutes ago, and I said, listen, when can I be expecting news on this? You know, it's the holidays. I have family in town. I want to be able to plan my days off. And his answer to me was, I will give you an update mañana. So I will give an update mañana. You know, I think, in my mind, they already have, I mean, he said it himself at the Soccer X conference. We already have our coach selected. Those were the exact words. We already have our coach selected. We're working on his contract, blah, blah, blah. So in my mind, it's either Marcelo Gallardo that we've been saying over and over from River Plate or Patrick Vieira from Nice. Those are if it's not one of those two, I'll be very surprised. Let me put it that way. It's possible that maybe they were negotiating with those two and it fell through and they've gone to a plan C or something. But in my mind, it's one of those people, the person has already been selected. They've already been in contract talks and probably even possibly, you know, are in daily talks about personnel and the next designated players and blah, blah, blah. Even though something has not been announced to the public doesn't mean that things aren't going on behind the scenes. But yes, they need to hire coach soon because the training camp starts, I believe it's January 18th or 19th of January, which is 4 weeks away. So 4 weeks away from right now, this team is going to have a practice. They're going to have their first training session. And you would think that they would have a coach in time for the first training session.
Okay, that would be fantastic.
They do point out to me when I keep acting like it's crazy that they don't have a coach. They do keep pointing out to me that there are a couple other teams in MLS right now that fired their coaches at the end of the season, and those teams also don't have coaches yet. And so there is no coach, there is no team to coach at this very moment. On December 26th, there's no practice. There's no team to coach. There's no practices. There are no games until February. So, you know, they don't seem like they don't seem to be panicking as much as the fans seem to be panicking. But I do think that, you know, by December 31st, they should have a coach. I mean, I just think it would be crazy if they don't.
Right, and the international players, is there another deadline? Is that the same kind of deadline, or is that something that because of their contracts it might be affecting it, or transfers, or whatever it is?
Right. Well, the thing with that is that the European transfer window is January 1st, starts January 1st, New Year's. So, you know, once that transfer window opens, that's when all those deals are going to be made for the players that are in Europe. So my guess is that January 1st, when the transfer window opens in Europe, that is when we are going to hear, you know, the actual formal announcements. That doesn't mean, again, that they're not talking to players, already working on contracts, talking to the agents. But, you know, but I do think that that's coming soon, but that the announcement of that could be after January 1st. That is possible.
One of our viewers says, speaking of soccer, will Inter Miami show respect to those who grew up supporting the game through the Strikers Fusion and Strikers Again? I'm not sure what that question means, but I think they are going to do some kind of a type of a Hall of Fame type thing, right? Isn't that planned down the line or something like that?
Oh, at the stadium up there? Some sort of a tribute to
Yeah.
the teams of the past?
Yeah.
They had mentioned that. They had mentioned something about a tribute at that stadium, since there's so much history at that venue, that that they would do some sort of tribute Hall of Fame or tribute to the original Strikers, obviously, and then the Fusion, and then whatever teams, the new Strikers Part 2 that came along. So yeah, I would think that there will be some commemoration of of the soccer history that went on at that stadium.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't know if you knew, because it was very bad timing, but on the night of the 23rd, when everybody was getting ready for the holidays, they did sign 2 more players, including a Haitian player, which will be of interest to our Haitian community and to everybody, but I mean in particular to our Haitian community. They signed a young defender, 21 years old, named Denso Ulysses, and he is a Haitian from the Haitian under-23 national team. So he's playing in Gold Cup qualifiers and Olympic qualifiers and stuff for the under-23 Haitian team. He's been with the Sounders organization in their USL team in Tacoma as a young, rising young talent. He's a right back, supposed to be really fast and really good, and obviously would be thrilled to be playing in Miami as opposed to Tacoma, Washington, because he is a Haitian national. So that's one player, Denso Ulysses, that they just signed on the 23rd. Excuse me. And they signed another backup goalkeeper, Drake Callender, who's been playing at Cal Berkeley, and he was a homegrown player with the San Jose Earthquakes. So he came up through San Jose Academy, was signed by the Earthquakes, played at Cal Berkeley. He's 22, and they got him as well. So that brings the total. I believe they have 20 players total on the roster right now, with the 2 DPs still to come will be 22. And then the college draft is coming up on January 9th. So they'll fill out their roster. By January 10th, they'll have their full roster.
Now, I would imagine that the draft kids, we'll probably be watching them on the USL team, right? That's probably, well, I mean, they are the first and third picks of the entire draft. Maybe they're really good and they can be on the MLS team, but I almost feel like those are 2 dudes that are probably headed for the USL.
I don't know. It seems to me that they are going to have a completely different roster for the USL team. It's not that their USL players are going to come from this pool. I think the 30 players that are signed for this team are going to be for this team. They're going to be the team that's going to be practicing with this team. They're going to be the reserves for the first team. I think the USL team is going to be a whole separate roster, because it's a USL second division USL team. So it's not one step down from the Major League Soccer team. It's 2 steps down. So I think, my understanding anyway, it's possible that maybe players number 28, 29, and 30, will be moved to the USL.
Oh, to the Miami FC? Miami FC will.
No, not Miami
okay.
FC. To the Inter Miami USL second team. My understanding is the players that they're drafting are all for Major League Soccer.
Okay.
And USL is going to have a whole separate lineup.
Oh, okay. So, wait a minute. So the college draft will not feed the USL team? It has to, right? The later part of the draft or something?
Well, yeah, later. Yeah, it could later in the draft.
Okay.
But I think the first pick and the third pick that they're getting in the college draft,
Right.
I think both of those would be players that would be thought of for the Major League Soccer team.
Okay. All right. Good stuff there. Nothing new on practice, right? We don't know where they're going to practice yet. That has not been
We do
announced.
not know where they're going to practice. It's not going to be there. It's not going to be at the Lockhart site. That is not going to be ready quite yet. So, I was hearing that they could be on a couple of college campuses in South Florida for a bit, although it was not working out at That was their first choice. And then I believe they're going to go somewhere in Central Florida and train with another MLS team, probably either in Orlando or at IMG Academy.
Okay.
Over in Bradenton, they have a very nice facility, and they can train over there and play some practice games. And then I would not be surprised if they leave Florida altogether to another state or even possibly another country.
Wow. Okay. Then they're willing to spend money. That's for sure. That's what you gotta
they're
love.
going to spend money. They're
Yeah.
spending money.
Yeah.
This team is spending money. But I think, honestly, I've been impressed with everything so far. One thing that I think was a big boo-boo is they should have come out with their jersey before Christmas, because
True.
so many people
Yes.
have been asking me, including members of my own family and friends. They wanted to buy that as Hanukkah and Christmas gifts, to buy the kit, to buy the shirt, to buy,
Sure.
and
Sure.
it's not available. You can buy the merchandise. There is Inter Miami merchandise out there, which I did get some from my relatives and stuff.
Caneswear.
But not-
Caneswear.
but
Caneswear.
Caneswear, go to Caneswear and get your Inter Miami stuff. But the jersey is not coming out, I don't believe, until after January 1st, which I think is a big miss on their part, a whiff. I mean, I just think that they could have made so much money before Christmas. After the first week of January, I mean, yeah, the true diehard fans are going to buy, but everyone has already spent all their money
I only have
over
one.
the holidays.
I only have one question. Is this out of their control? Maybe that's what it is. Maybe whoever it is, Adidas, Nike, I'm not even sure who's in charge of the jerseys. Is that their call? Was that not Miami's call, or did Miami have some power in this? If they
Yeah, I don't
did,
think so.
if they
I
did,
think-
then they got to do what you said for sure.
Yeah, I think it's out of their control. I think it's Adidas, and I think it's out of their control.
That makes sense.
Because to me the timing is just weird. It's like you've got Christmas, Hanukkah, you've got all the holidays, everybody, you've got a new team. People do not own the merchandise. Nobody has the jersey yet on the entire planet. Your team is starting to train in 1 month right after the holidays. Why wouldn't you put those shirts on sale from Thanksgiving? They should have done a big launch on Thanksgiving, and you have 1 month to get your jerseys before the season starts. I mean, it just seemed to me to make perfect sense, but, I don't know everything going on behind the scenes. There's a reason why it hasn't come out yet, but it's a shame, I should say. I should say it's a shame that they didn't come out earlier, because I think they would have sold a lot more.
Follow her on Twitter at Koff Sports. More importantly, catch her exceptional work at the Miami Herald website. She is Michelle Kaufman. Michelle, as always, thank you for taking some time here during the holidays. We really appreciate it. And next week, we should be talking coach.
Next week, it's going to be what, the 31st Wednesday, or is it already January 1st next Wednesday?
Next Wednesday, I think, is the first already.
The first. Okay,
Yeah.
so I would like to think, but I've said this before, it sounds silly, but I would like to think that we will have a coach to talk about by next Wednesday.
Well, Wednesday's the first, so let's hope it happens. As always,
Yes.
Michelle, thank you for taking some time. Enjoy that Independence Bowl on the Peloton.
Oh, yes. All right. Take care.
You got it. Be good. There you go. The great Michelle Kaufman. We love it. And she's on the Peloton watching. She says that today she's watching the entire Independence Bowl on the Peloton. How about that?
Wow.
That was funny how that became a thing. Like, people were insulted that the man would buy his wife a Peloton because you're basically telling her that she's fat and she needs to get in shape. And let me tell you something. If somebody's looking out for you and telling you that maybe you need to get in shape, that's actually a good thing. Okay? How about not taking it so personal? How about looking at yourself going, yeah, you know what? I am a fat ass. I need to get on the damn Peloton. I need to go run around the block 800 times. What's wrong with that? Nothing wrong with that. I looked at myself, said, hey, you're a fat ass. You need to lose some weight, and I lost some weight. You can do the same thing. And big deal if you're looking out for your loved one and you buy them a Peloton, they buy you a Peloton, they buy whatever, bro. Who cares? They want you to work out. They want you to look good. The worst thing is they don't buy you anything. They don't care about you. They don't talk to you. They don't pay attention. And then that's when they're banging somebody else. It's pretty simple. But if your loved one actually is into you and wants to buy you something nice to wear, wants to buy you a nice dinner, wants to buy you a Peloton, wants to buy you whatever, it's a good thing.
Talking about family saying stuff and getting offended.
Yeah.
My grandfather's favorite was, you kids need to go play in traffic.
Right, exactly. Can't do that to kids nowadays, man. They take everything, dude. Everything's personal. Everything's
Oh, yeah.
literal.
Thin skin, man.
All right, let's go to David Dwork
No,
because he is
we're
not
gonna do.
thin-skinned.
Let me do a switch out. 1 second, guys. Give us 1 second.
All right, give us a minute here.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
All righty, we're going to talk a little Okie. We're going to switch gears here. We're going to talk to my man David Dwork, who does an excellent job of covering the very frustrating Florida Panthers on a daily basis. The Panthers are off tonight and Friday. They will host the Red Wings on Saturday at 7 o'clock. And let's hope that they can turn things around here. Let's bring David on because David, of course, was kicking ass yesterday, making us all look really jealous because he had a roast that he cooked yesterday that was just absolutely outstanding. David, how are you doing, my brother?
I'm doing well. Oh, I'm doing very well. Yourself? Having a good holiday?
How was that roast? Yeah, I had a great holiday until I saw your roast, and I was like, holy crap, that thing is awesome.
Yeah,
how perfect was that thing? Because it looked like it really belonged on a brochure. You know what I'm saying? Seriously.
I can't take any credit for cooking it. I have not. I was telling your producer Bill in the break. I haven't reached the hierarchy in my family that I'm allowed to cook in the kitchen on holidays. We've got the older dwarfs that take care of that. But that roast was insane, man. And the carved slices that were on everybody's plate were no joke, like almost an inch thick.
Oh,
it was amazing.
Jealous. So jealous. That thing looked so good, dude. My mouth was watering just looking at that thing. It was awesome. Anyway, David, our boys are coming off a loss to the Lightning, 6-1. Talk to us a little bit about that performance on Monday night. That was a little disturbing.
We have their number the last few games. Even the game that Florida won against Tampa, it was mostly a Tampa-controlled game. And Monday night was just I don't really know where that effort came from, because they had been playing such strong, inspired hockey over the last 7 to 10 days, finishing out the homestand strong. They had a good week of practice going into it. And the discussion was from Q and from several of the players just emptying the tank. We know we have a big holiday break coming up, and the 2 games leading up, you think, okay, these guys are starting to hit that stride again. And then they showed up in Tampa, and it was like hitting a brick wall. Tampa, from the very first minute, they got the lead, and the Panthers were never really in it. They had a power play goal, and that was about it. Otherwise, it was all Tampa the whole game. And it's just dumbfounding because, one game they can look like they have their stuff together, and then they can show up in Tampa and look like that. So, the inconsistency right now is the most troubling part of it.
And that's the inconsistency is something that kind of has been stuck with these guys for the last few years, no matter who the coach is. And so what does Q have to do I mean, hell, if you know that, then obviously this is a difficult question to ask you, almost impossible to put you in that position. But, dude, what does Q have to do to figure out consistency? Because that's been a problem with this team and this group of individuals for a while now. And you had a great goaltender who's not playing great, and you had a great coach, and yet it hasn't changed yet. this team continues to be inconsistent. This year was just a different type of inconsistency. You started off really well, and now you tailed off, and now you're out of the playoff race again, and it's kind of where you've been the last couple of years, on the outside looking in.
Yeah, I think this season with the new coaching staff coming in, I mean, you said, it's different inconsistency issues. But I think with this year, you're giving Q his first real good long look at everything that this franchise has to offer, whether it's the guys that are playing in the NHL right now or the guys that are a tier below in the AHL, the Borgstroms and the Tippets of the world. But I think with Q, it's just a matter of, A, you keep driving the point home to your team, you keep preaching his system, you keep working it into them day after day after day, and you see if the consistency can come around. But it's also B, you're evaluating each of these players, and you're getting a good taste of who you feel can handle his system, who he feels can bring the consistency, and anybody who doesn't make that list, well, that's when changes start to be made. With the new regime, I think the first year is just all about evaluating that talent. They're a good enough team that even first year they should absolutely be a playoff team. But overall, this is a long-term play with the Panthers and with Talon. They gave Q that big, long contract, and they're hoping that this is going to become a long-term thing like what he built in Chicago. Year one, I think we're just going to scratch the surface on it, and I think it could be an interesting summer, especially based on what Dale Talon has been up to over the last 6 months with going after Panarin and then inquiring about Taylor Hall. Clearly, they're looking for another big contract if they can get it. So I feel like whatever happens at the end of this year, we're just going to have to see how everything pans out free agency-wise.
By the way, just some breaking, I'm seeing a report this afternoon says Hurricanes are getting rid of Dan Enos, win or lose, in the Indy Bowl game. I'm reading that right now from FootballInsiders.com. Florida Football Insiders.
Yeah, I think Tim Reynolds had that first earlier today.
Yeah, I didn't see that. Wow, so they're going to get rid of Dan Enos either way, huh? Interesting how that breaks. You look at the inconsistencies, all right? You cover the team. And look, David, you and I know it, and most Panther fans that follow the team, we knew this wasn't going to be an elite defensive team. So we know that that's an issue going in, that they're not elite in that area. They can be elite in scoring, and we know that they can be elite in goaltending. So what is it that you're seeing that you think Q can he fix at all on defense and the goaltending to improve the defensive side? Because we know that, they only scored 1 goal the other night, but we know that this team can show us more consistency on the offensive end than the defensive end. So talk to me more about the defensive end.
I mean, with the defense and the Panthers, it's very much a 5 players on the ice game. It's not just the defensemen that are out there. And the inconsistencies that I've noticed the most aren't necessarily problems with the defensemen. It's just the defensive system. The big thing that I've seen is the forwards just aren't always on the same page. And whether it's a gap control issue, whether it's just blown assignments in the defensive zone. Some games, everybody will be exactly where they need to be. No, you're not going to see 5 guys within a few feet of each other like you saw several times against Tampa on Monday. You're going to see a spread out defense. You're going to see guys picking up their men, watching their quadrants of the zone. And for the reason without the consistency, I wish I had the answer to that, because then maybe I'd be getting paid from the team. But it's just a matter of getting all 5 players on the ice on that same page, and it just keeps coming back to that same word, inconsistency. And I mean, just trying to put my finger on one particular thing, it's hard, because it's been, like I said, it's been issues with the gaps between the forwards and the defensemen. It's been issues with your defensemen are getting in the right place, and then they're getting left hung out to dry because guys from the opposing team are coming into the zone. It's ending up like a 3 or 4 on 2 because the forwards are so far behind. And it comes down to guys like, I don't like to throw names out there, but off the top of my head, thinking like Hoffman, his back checking has been an issue. It's tough. Oh, it really is. And I'm imagine that, as I said before with Twinville, he's just figuring out which guys are going to fit in his system and which guys aren't going to fit. And after the season is over, we're going to see some changes, I would think.
And how much, and I know that you play hockey and you play the goalie position, how much of this is affecting the psyche of Bobrovsky and affecting him, that maybe he thinks he's got to make up for a little bit of their inconsistencies too, and maybe he's anticipating even on trying to block shots, some of their shortcomings, and it's affecting him in doing his job, because obviously we're not getting the Bobrovsky that we all thought we were going to get here in late December as it is. So walk me through all of that too.
I think that if you would have asked me that question maybe like 6 weeks ago, I would have had a much different answer, because that's when Bob was really kind of in flux. His season was up and down. He was, sometimes happy in the locker room. Sometimes he was very quick to answer. He at one point even talked about his defenseman a little bit and that he wasn't happy with it. But I think since like mid to late November, Bob has been in a great mental state. He seems to be really locked in, whether it's in practice, whether it's in games. He's been very consistent. And he's just overall, he seems like if he's not focused, he's just happy. Like I've seen him smiling and laughing and just having a good time in practice a lot more than I did earlier in the year. So I think from Bobrovsky's standpoint, I think he's just locked in and doing his thing. And yeah, as a goaltender, you just come to expect that some games your guys in front of you are going to have it a little differently than others. And some games you're going to have to stop 40 shots, and some games you might not face 20 shots. And with Bob and with goalies in general, it's just like a starting pitcher. You go out there and you know what you want to do, and you try your best to do your thing. And especially with Bob, it's so much of it, and we've talked about it before, it's so much of a mental thing with him. He's so in his own head. And a lot of it, it's a good thing when everything is on the same page, and we're seeing that right now. We've seen it throughout his career. But early in the season is when, he was figuring his things out. But Bob is one of the least of my concerns right now, and I'm hoping that we get to talk to him, because I know Bob has been a big discussion point between you and I. And I think right now, as far as his brief time in a Panthers sweater, he's in the best place that he's been.
That's why I asked you, because I know he has played a little better, still not to where we want him. But that's why I asked you about the environment around him, how much it's affecting him in trying to make up for it, because he's got to know deep down inside, like, these guys in front of me are not good enough. You know what I mean? So he's got to have some level of insecurity around him, not about his ability, but the ability of the guys in front of him. And that's got to be disturbing for a goaltender, because he really can't control that.
Well, I mean, obviously I can't speak for Bob at all, but from my personal perspective, from the goaltending perspective, I think, especially with this Panthers team, like, yes, they're struggling, but being that he's there, he sees it way better than anybody else, there's plenty of talent on this roster. It's certainly a capable roster. You throw in a coach like Quenneville, there's no reason to think that they won't be able to get everything together. They should be able to. We're not even at the halfway point of the season yet, and we've seen that when they're on point, that it can work. So with Bob, I feel like he gets so in his own head with his own game and focused on his technicalities, where his footwork is, his hands, all that stuff. It's just not, it's like not worth it to start worrying about those things that are out of your control. Just go out there, do your thing. And that's the impression that I get of Bob, that he just wants to go out there and make sure he's doing everything at the top of his game, and that everything else that's out of his hands, fall where it may, basically. You got to trust that this team is going to get everything together. And for him, if he's not trusting that and able to focus on his own game, then he's kind of losing before he steps on the ice.
WPLG reporter, writer, David Dwork joining us. You can follow him on Twitter at David Dwork. So in a way, David, the way you kind of described the team with the talent and all of that, it's also maybe there's a level of a lack of confidence, not for Bob, I'm saying, for the guys in front. Do they need to go like on a little run where they play well so they can start to kind of believe in themselves that they can be a better defensive squad? How much of that maybe you think is lacking for the Panthers on defense, confidence?
I think the confidence obviously winning and playing well is going to breed confidence, but I think it all just kind of ties into the same basic mentality of, if they're playing the way Q wants them to play, if they're doing what they're supposed to do, it's going to translate into playing better and wins and confidence, and it's all just going to fall into place. So in that sense, yeah, if they can string a few wins together, and if they can figure out how to consistently play defense as a five-man unit the way Q wants them to, who knows what we could see in the second half of the year, because their schedule is going to get a lot easier too. They played a lot of tough teams in the first half of the year, so that's going to get a little bit better. The games are going to get more spaced out. They should get a little bit more practice time. And it's just so hard to speculate, but I would imagine that because they have the talent, and one thing about the Panthers and what Dale Talon has done with his team is not just talented, but smart players. He's got a lot of smart guys on the team that know hockey. So it shouldn't be that big of an issue over the course of the season for them to get on that Q program. And I still firmly believe that it's going to happen only because we've seen it, not maybe game in and game out and game in and game out, but we've seen it in enough chunks that you know the talent and the ability is there. It's just a matter, and I hate to keep sounding like a broken record, but it's just a matter of getting everybody on the same page.
Follow him on Twitter at David Dwork and catch his work there at WPLG's website. And tell him about the podcast, my man, Chirping the Cats.
Chirping the Cats, the podcast, anywhere you get your podcast, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify. It's been cool so far. We've had interviews with Barkov, Huberdeau, Matheson, Jovanovski's jumped on there, Jokinen, former Panthers. And, it's the 10th episode is coming up with George Richards from The Athletic. He tells some really funny stories about he's covered the team for like 15 years now, so got some interesting past goalies. A couple of former Panthers goalies possibly getting in a fist fight one night at a bar, and some trade stories, some good stuff, man. So the next episode will drop probably this weekend.
There you go. Chirping the Cats, David Dwork. Follow him on Twitter at David Dwork and catch his work there at Channel 10 or WPLG's website. David, as always, you're a stud, my brother. Thank you for taking some time, and don't leave us out of the roast next time.
Anything for you, Big O.
You got it,
baby.
Take
care, my friend.
Be good. There you go. David Dwork, man. Good stuff there, as always. Love it. So the Dan Enos era with the Hurricanes could be reaching its end. The Independence Bowl on Thursday will be Enos' final game as Miami OC. The Associated Press reported that before the Hurricanes kicked off against Louisiana Tech Bulldogs in Shreveport, the two have agreed to mutually part ways, according to the report. Barring a significant change in plans, the Miami Hurricanes and offensive coordinator Dan Enos are expected to part ways after today's Independence Bowl. Tim Reynolds, who covers the South Florida sports for the AP, reported. One source told the Miami Herald there have been internal discussions regarding the situation. Another told the Herald it's not good there right now regarding some of the players, and that quarterback Jaron Williams, for one, does not get along with Enos. Now you know why they haven't decided on a quarterback. Yo, Bet La Tech, bro. Bet La Tech. How is favored by 7? Enos' arrival in Gables with much fanfare in January, soon after Manny Diaz was hired as coach. Enos, who was also a quarterback's coach, spent last season as the Alabama Crimson Tide's quarterback's coach, helping guide star quarterbacks Tua to a record-breaking season. Diaz, however, offered Enos the opportunity to call plays once again and lead the entire Miami offense. Before the Hurricanes formally announced the hire, Diaz and other coaches tweeted out cryptic videos of Yasiel Puig hitting a home run, suggesting a home run hire was impending. He was highly sought out by other schools in the Southeastern Conference that he turned down to come to the University of Miami. And like I said, he meets the requirements of what we felt like our guys needed to have the greatest chance to succeed on offense, Diaz said in January after they hired him. So, well, there you go.
If you remember, we were all excited because the possibility of Jalen.
No, and Enos and Jalen.
And the way he handled, yes, and the way he handled the whole situation with Tua and everybody and all that, and how successful they were. Yeah, got a question. Some of the play calling in the course of the year, we questioned specific. What are you doing calling this play at this time? And you're not using Brevin Jordan, and there was a lot of it.
Navarre goes, caught Dan Enos as he was walking off the field pregame. All I got was this terrible photo. Oh, Lordy. So they are going to part ways with Dan Enos.
Now, question. Because of Manny's lack of track record, now he does. A 6-6 track record. What kind of offensive coordinator are you going to be able to entice to come here?
Very week one.
Or
the problem with that.
You got to go Division II right? 3, whatever, and get some super that wants a chance at a Division I, right?
Yeah, you got to get some up-and-coming guy and all that good stuff. But the problem is you're already on technically a hot seat for next year. You've already fired the first guy you brought in. You have backtracked on 80% of your statements already that you've made. It's like the worst thing you could ever deal with is if you've ever had a boss that tells you one thing and then does something else. And then this is the plan this week and then changes it the following week because they have no idea what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? And so I've dealt with radio people like that too, that have no idea what the hell they're doing. Or some people that actually think they're radio people, but they're really not. They're just thieves. But anyway, so I've dealt with all kinds of people like that, and that's not good. And that's the thing about Manny, that Manny does not sell stability now. So you're not going to get a quality offensive coordinator to come over here now. And the fact that Jarren Williams and him don't get along, that's not good, dude. I mean, come on, brother. I mean, that's just wrong on every level. You can't build on something like that. That's the kind of stuff that's going to get out. And so now the guy you're going to fire is the guy making calls today. I mean, and the guys that's not getting along with other people, man, this is not a good situation. Again, Bet La Tech. Hashtag Bet La Tech. All right?
It just keeps getting worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, I don't know how this looks good on anybody. Again, I didn't understand why they were even favored. I don't.
No, well, that made no sense.
Picking or maybe La Tech by 1 or Miami by 1, I can understand.
A pick 'em, I could, yeah.
Or 1 point each, whatever. You know, barely over favored or 7 points. Yeah. No, dude, you're lucky if you win this game. Period. Right, we gotta stop with this already, dude. There's nothing about this program that reflects what the University of Miami used to be. Nothing at all. Not coaching, not these players. Most of these players can never, ever hang with old UM teams.
Oh, no. No way.
Forget about it, bro.
They couldn't play with the – you know what? In our good years, they couldn't hang with the third stringers.
Right.
Straight up.
Yeah, there's no doubt. That's what I'm saying. Just nuts, man. All right, we got to wrap it up here on the show. 4 hours in. We thank a lot of people. We thank Jeff Sheesby. We thank Matt Shodell, Michelle Kaufman, Jake Rowe, David Dwork. I think we had enough today, right? I think it's kind of a loaded show, right?
No.
They got gambling. They got soccer. They got football. They got college football. They got hockey. I mean, we talked about everything. Name it.
We even heard from the coach.
Food, Peloton. I mean, we didn't leave anything out. Hell, we even got Seth Greenberg for you, right? Who's that basketball player from Milwaukee?
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
What?
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Right. I mean, we even got Antetokounmpo. We covered it all.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Have a great one out there. Be good. Be safe. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, John Cassio. And thanks to all of you for keeping it locked here on the Big O Radio Show. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow. Bright and early at Craig's Inn Acura. We'll be live out there at 9 a.m. And then we'll be live at 1 p.m. over at Hialeah Park.